What is up, y'all? How's it going? This is ALTX here, and today I'm going to be bringing you round 21 of 30 of my NR2003 2019 season. This is round 1 of the 10-race playoff run. Kentucky. We were racing under the lights in Kentucky, and I'm actually recording this the same week as the Cup races going to Kentucky. I haven't recorded a video in like 3 weeks-ish or a month. I don't know. The only other thing I've done is stream NIS once. And I guess a few people watch that. But, yeah, basically switching everything over to my SSD, my operating system. I don't know, I couldn't find a way around it. I basically had to delete almost everything off my computer, and that included several races in between the previous upload and between the All-Star race and the last round before the playoffs. So I think I kept Richmond, I kept the finish of Fontana, and I think I kept a couple of races in there. Anyways, I kept some things, but I think what's really important is this playoff run, these races of the playoffs. These aren't going anywhere. This is the first video recorded on my new GPU. I upgraded from a 960 to a 1060, so there's that. It's going to look better. I've got graphics turned up more, so there's that. And now that we're in the playoffs, instead of just doing the whole starting lineup, I am just going to do the starting lineup of where the playoff drivers are starting. So remind ourselves again, Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, Jimmie Johnson, Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman, Brad Keselowski, Eric Almirola, Clint Bowyer, Kyle Larson, Eric Jones, Denny Hamlin, and Daniel Suarez are the 12 drivers who will be battling it out over the next 10 races for a berth in the Final Four. For those who don't know or don't remember, or if I never even mention it, it is a straight points run to the end. The top 4 points after 9 races will be the Final Four in the last race. So it's a combo of the point systems we've had over the years. I've got about 2 minutes to check it out. Your first seed in the playoffs, Martin Truex Jr., is starting in the 4th position right there, looking to start his playoff run with a good finish. Right behind him, starting 5th, is Kevin Harvick, the 2nd seed. Jimmie Johnson is starting back there in 10th. Kyle Busch is in the 4th seed, is starting on pole. Alex Bowman is quite further back. He's starting 14th. He's the 5th seed. Brad Keselowski starting 13th there. Eric Almirola starting 3rd. I'm going in order of the seeds in the playoffs. Clint Bowyer starting 7th. Kyle Larson actually has a very bad starting position. Holy moly, he's starting way back here. It's not good for him. I'm sure he'll make up some ground really quickly, though. Eric Jones starting up in the 8th position. Then we've got Denny Hamlin starting 6th. And the last driver in the playoffs is Daniel Suarez starting 12th. So all drivers inside the top 15 except for Larson, who is starting, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's somewhere around 23rd-ish. But we've still got a minute to talk, so we'll look at some obvious things with the points here. Truex, looking at the counts of top 5s and top 10s, it wasn't just that playoff win, or that All-Star race win and the regular season championship. That's where he got all his playoff points. He was obviously excellent throughout the whole season. Kevin Harvick, same amount of top 5s and top 10s. He was able to convert some of those into wins and get a nice amount. And then Jimmie Johnson, obviously, with the unprecedented 4 poles from them, which honestly he has one of the worst qualifying stats here, so I'm not really sure how that happened. Solid number of top 5s from drivers the likes of Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman. Kyle Busch by far the most consistent driver with 13 top 10s. And then looking down the chase grid, really there's nobody else with bad stats. Eric Jones is in narrowly with these numbers, and Daniel Suarez, but really solid stats. And perhaps the driver with the worst stats here, besides Jones, is Keselowski. I think I just missed the command. Yeah, definitely missed the command. But the worst stats here is probably Brad Keselowski, and the only reason he's up in the 6th seed, well, obviously playoff points, but they were also consistent where they weren't finishing at the front. So it'll be interesting to see how they do, because now it's going to be less about that consistency. People like Suarez and Eric Jones pointing their way in. You didn't necessarily have to be at the front and win races because there is no win in your unit. It's all points. As long as you're not collecting DNFs, and as long as you're finishing at least top 15, you'll make it in. But now you're fighting to be top 4 in points. And as you can see in the DNF column, there's Brad Keselowski, only driver with no DNFs this season. So there it is. They didn't run spectacular throughout the season. They did get a win. Did he get a win? Am I blind? He did get a win, yes. But they're going to have to step it up now, along with a lot of other drivers. Guys like Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Truex Jr. just have to stay on their A game. And as Kyle Busch and his older brother Kurt Busch lock out in the front row and lead us around to the green, it's time to get things going here in the playoffs for 2019 as the pace car pulls off. Kyle Busch leading us around to a track that he and Brad Keselowski alone have owned since the Cup Series started coming here in 2011. As they creep up on the line through the box, we are racing from Kentucky. Truex instantly with a jump out to the outside. Oh my goodness, already damaged from the 32. I'm not really sure how he wrecked. That is tragic from him. Kyle Busch jumping out to an instant lead there. Taking no time getting to the front. Really weird. Oh my goodness, Bubba Wallace has damage too. Seems to have been an accident before we even take the green flag. Kyle Busch leading further back on. It is absolute chaos all throughout the field. Martin Truex Jr. and Jimmy Johnson and Alex Bowman losing ground. There's Brad Keselowski up the inside. A little bit of frame rate issues there. I'm definitely going to have to change some of the settings. Because I'm also... Oh, look out. There's contact there between playoff contenders. They're 4 wide. They're going to save it. 3 playoff contenders all almost took each other out there. They were all 4 wide. And there is a huge influx of positions. Johnson and Truex well outside the top 15. Brad Keselowski up to the front. Chase Elliott and who is that? Ty Dillon through to the top 10. And just like that, the storylines already developing here early on in this thing. As we go back to the front and check on the lead, it's a 4-car breakaway of Eric Almirola, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Clint Bowyer. All of these guys racing for this championship. So they've broken away from the chaos, it seems. Suarez and Johnson and Keselowski and Logano. Logano's not a playoff contender, I forgot. It's really weird for Logano to not be a playoff contender. They're all caught up in this jumbled 3-wide mess. And one man who has not had it good so far. Where's Kyle Larson? There he is. Kyle Larson has damage. Not sure what from. But that is absolutely... He's the first of the playoff contenders to have significant issues. And I'm not entirely sure what it is. But he's way off the pace. Out of that pack. He's going to need a caution. So I'll get himself back up there. From the time being, it looks like Alex Bowman and Jimmy Johnson are recovering from their fallbacks. Eric Jones looks like he's taking nice... Ooh, almost contact between Kurt Busch and... what's that guy? Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. also looking to make some ground up as he lost a lot of it. Oh, Kurt Busch and Truex and Byron are really close there. Keselowski almost getting into the 13. They're 4 wide across the line. They are not giving an inch here. Absolutely insane racing. Keselowski really getting tight on the door of Haley there. He's going to get a good run off here. It's really hard to say. Haley's having a really good day here. More 3 wide up here. Look at that. Joe Nemechek up here. Oh, almost slides into the 41 of Suarez. Suarez keeps his foot in it. It looks like the inside lane is where you want to be more than anything else. Kyle Busch currently running away with it. Not running away with it. I mean, it's the biggest gap I think I've seen for the leaders all day. He's still got Stewart-Haas duo trailing him. Just watching slow cars. Really concerned about Larson's situation. It seems like they've gotten it back up to speed. Not that far off the leaders despite having some nose damage. But, you know, they're going to have a caution if they want to save this race because they are currently all the way back there. I don't think there's any other playoff contenders having major issues besides Larson. Truex falling all the way back here to 23rd, racing very closely. These guys, I'm not sure what is wrong with that 19 Bass Pro machine, but they are really struggling. Alex Bowman back here as well. Brad Keselowski seems to have slipped back, so very reminiscent of plate racing from about 15th on back. Matt DiBenedetto having a great run so far. Running it on the 7th position. Logano currently working him over for it. You see Jimmy Johnson has rebounded nicely from that slide back earlier. This just must have been a bad start. He and Eric Almirola are engaged in a battle for 3rd. Then at the very front, it's a breakaway. It's Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Clint Bowyer currently pulling away from the field. And Kevin Harvick has, since we were last here, gotten around his teammate Clint Bowyer And there he got a great run off the corner, and it looks like we're going to have a battle for the lead. Well, we had a battle for the lead, but now it's side by side. We've seen the bottom is preferred. Harvick is just going to drive right by Kyle. Looks like he's standing still, and he's going to try and pull his teammate with him. Clint Boyer right behind him, and I think Boyer is going to be able to clear Kyle. Maybe not quite. Maybe slide up in front of him, but now we've got a Stewart-Haas 1-2. Harvick through to the lead, pulling Boyer with him. And Kyle Busch falls back a couple spots. Jimmy Johnson did clear Eric Almirola. Almirola falling back to Chase Elliott now. Denny Hamlin through to 9th place. DiBenedetto slowly falling back. Here comes Eric Jones looking for that spot on him. It looks like he actually did get it, and then DiBenedetto was able to take it back. Hold on. There was a lap car coming up. We're coming up on Bubba real fast here. So this will be interesting. Just want to make sure nothing tragic happens here. A little bit further back. Yeah, there's Jones falling back. Keselowski gaining ground. Truex just looks like he's starting to pick him back up. He's up to 19th. Yeah, they're pretty much right behind Bubba. Kyle Larson, his situation could be worse. I think he might be. Okay, he's for sure gaining on the guys in front of him. A 29.3 that time. He's easily running with his damage. Top 15 lap times. So I think he's going to be able to just by sheer, really tight there. By sheer driving, he's going to be able to find his way back up there and make up some ground, if not a good bit. You'll see Harvick lapping Bubba Wallace already a couple laps down. Just not his season at all. 43 actually on fresher tires, interestingly enough, able to hook it around the top there, and that really helps out Kyle Busch, who has gotten back around Clint Boyer. Helped him close up a bit on Kevin Harvick, actually, and I'm wondering, is Kyle Busch turning things around now? As you can see, slowly creeping in the picture is Jimmy Johnson. And Eric Almirola hasn't necessarily fallen too far back either. Watching Kyle Busch, watching the speed through the corners. Get a whole field flyby here. Things have really calmed down a little bit. See, Kyle Larson is just back there catching up to the back of the field. We'll be watching him very closely, but it won't be long before he starts picking them off. Now, they can't go all the way on field. They're going to need some pit stops. So that is going to help the 42 car, but he's perhaps the most important story so far. Already coming in without fantastic standings in the points. Only ranked the 9th seed with a few point bonus. It's vital that they make up as much ground as they can. It's a long 9-race stretch, and a lot can happen, but you want to try and start off on the right foot. And that's a team that has struggled before, and they have turned things around and heated up when they need to, so just have to see how it works out for them, if they can recover. Kevin Harvick still leading. Kyle Busch hot on his tail. Ran the exact same lap time that time. Kyle Busch seems to be able to run it to the bottom a little bit more, and Harvick gets a slightly better drive off. Johnson and Boyer haven't really gone into each other or made ground on them. Almirola, I don't know if he's feeling the pressure from Elliott. Logano's certainly coming up for the front. Logano's coming. Hamlin in 8th. Keselowski is broken to 10th place. And wow, Martin Truex Jr. is picking him up and putting him down, it looks like. There's Austin Dillon, 13th, sliding all the way back to God knows where. But Truex up to 14th. He's making a lot of ground very quickly. Daniel Suarez he's pretty much been struggling the whole time. So has Alex Bowman. And here's Larson. Wow, holy moly. Kyle Larson was 36th. How many cars did he just pass in one corner? He just passed 6 cars in one corner, it looks like. Wow, I'm done. I'm actually really done. Kyle Larson's a lap down. So that's actually very bad for Kyle Larson. He's going to need a caution. Whoa! I'm not sure why those guys went high. I think it's got to be because of pit stops. Yeah, here they go. Kyle Busch short pitting. He's going to bring Hamlin, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, DiBenedetto, William Byron, Stenhouse, and I don't really care to keep up with the rest of them. So yeah, dummy moment to me. I thought Kyle Larson was hauling ass, but actually he's just doing everything he possibly can. So the first round of green flag pit stops on the way. Definitely a 2-stop race. And Kevin Harvick taking this really weird, stupid high line. It's going to make things interesting entering pit road. We'll see. I think a lot of people are going to come this time. Oh, a very tight battle they're going in. Oh, Eric Jones up on the wall coming into pit road. Not sure what happened there. Oh my, that is very big for Eric Jones. Another playoff contender having issues here. Early in the going, Eric Jones went up and slammed the outside wall. And it's an absolute mess on pit road for people to get to their boxes, but wow. I am not sure what happened to Eric Jones there. Can't quite get a replay, obviously, because we don't really have that. But wow, he and Alex Bowman are the only two guys on track still. And it looks like they're going to be coming this time as they take the weirdest pit road entry arc I've ever seen. And wow, that was really unexpected. Did not see that coming. Eric Jones, significant damage to the right side of that car. That car is definitely hurt. Kyle Busch is coming around right now. There's Harvick. Kyle Busch should definitely take the lead here because he has that extra lap on the fresh tires. Here he is at a significantly higher rate of speed, well past Harvick. Here comes Hamlin as well. He's not going to get by Harvick. Wow, Keselowski made up a lot of ground on that stop, it looks like. A very good call by the 2 team. He was able to bypass Jimmy Johnson. Denny Hamlin and Keselowski were able to bypass Jimmy Johnson, and actually Hamlin was able to get up ahead of Clint Boyer. So good calls by all those guys there. Martin Truex Jr. just, wow, they pass a lot of cars, but they slide further back. It is not good for them. Race has gone green all the way. Eric Jones currently the race leader. They got that right side patched up pretty good, but not without a lot of time added to that pit stop. Not good for them. Kyle Busch comes around to take the lead, and you will see Eric Jones crawling out of pit road right here. We'll see where he exits. I don't think he's going to lose that much ground, actually, looking at it. See, there's Johnson. I think Johnson will... Oh, no, he'll come out battling Johnson. But is he a lap down? I can't tell. I think he might be a lap down. Let's look at it here. Eric Jones is a lap down. That is not good for him. So Eric Jones and Kyle Larson now, 2 playoff drivers relegated to being a lap down. Not good starts for them. Brad Keselowski and Hamlin absolutely turning their races around, running now 3rd and 4th. That's exactly what they needed. Kyle Busch hit the earliest of anybody, so Kevin Harvick will undoubtedly catch him soon enough as tire wear matters, especially with how quickly they wear in the first 10 laps. You see Harvick running a couple tenths quicker than Busch. In terms of on-track position, Kyle Larson really just struggling. He needs that lap back. Alex Bowman is on the lead lap running 29th. I'm not sure what's wrong with that car, but they must have missed it. Missed it bad. Suarez as well, 25th. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Truex, once again, having to make up ground. He was 18th a few laps ago. He's up to 14th now. Make it 13th, actually. Almirola looking for the pass on Kurt Busch. Priest and Dillon, good top 10 runs so far. Same for DiBenedetto. He's been in the mix. Johnson 6th. Clint Boyer putting the pressure on Brad Keselowski. Speaking of the pressure, here comes Harvick to the inside of Kyle Busch. Harvick with the fresher tires and that preferred line. I don't think it'll be more than half a corner before he actually gets clear of Kyle Busch. So Kyle Busch is going to send it in way deep and try and get everyone off. But as you can see, Harvick is long gone. Already cleared by a car length coming off the corner. And Kyle Busch didn't even get that good of a runoff. So Harvick to the lead. These things are really spread out. Johnson and Keselowski are engaging in a battle. I would say Eric Jones, but as we do know, Eric Jones is a lap down. So really it's just a lot of scattered battling throughout the track. And the caution doesn't look like it's coming out anytime soon, really. Eric Jones on the freshest tires here. He's going to be passing these leaders, it looks like. He might be able to get his lap back. I don't know. Definitely lost it while repairing the car. Keselowski seems to be sliding backwards a little bit. Boyer took the 4th position, Johnson 3rd or 5th, and Keselowski was 4th, and it looks like he's starting to slide back. Might not have quite the pace. Yeah, Chase Elliott's gaining on him as well, but I don't think he's going to fall back anywhere worse. Well, I don't know, Eric Almirola is coming at a very quick pace, too. He's probably going to stay within the top 10, if I had to guess. Kevin Harvick definitely stretching the lead out over Kyle Busch up to half a second, and I am sure it's going to increase by a good bit this time. a 0.51 second lead is going to stretch out to a 0.60. So, not monumental, but he's definitely stretching out. He's got just a lap fresher tires, and that does make a big difference. Here's Eric Jones, who's actually running faster than all of the leaders on those fresher tires. He needs to get this lap back. And then he's got to hope for a caution. Ooh, very close moment there between Bowyer and Hamlin. That's going to allow Jones to slip right through. He's going to get under Bowyer tier 2 and continue on to try and pass Kyle Busch and get that lap back. Another guy picking up spots, Eric Almirola, going around Matt DiBenedetto. Trying to anyways. He's just going to go right by. It's 8th spot for him. That little battle with Jones has allowed the 48 to pull up to the back of the 11. They're going to be battling now. It's going to give Bowyer some room to inch away. Now here comes Eric Jones to try and pass Kyle Busch. Eric Jones, despite battling half a second quicker, he is really, really hauling. Wow, he got right to Kyle Busch's quarter panel. Kyle Busch pushed up, and Eric Jones is now by Kyle Busch, and he'll be looking at Kevin Harvick to get his lap back. But Corey LaJoie actually might help him out in that department. Corey LaJoie quite a ways off the pace. So actually he pit pretty late. He's only a couple tenths off. Nonetheless, it actually could make it harder for Kevin Harvick to get by him. That time around, Jones 3 tenths quicker. He's got to get by Harvick soon. Bowyer has caught up to Kyle Busch. Johnson has passed Denny Hamlin. Keselowski seems to be holding his own in 6th. But there goes Clint Bowyer to the inside of Kyle Busch. And speaking of inside, we are just about to be inside 20 laps to go. It has been a caution-free race, not an accident-free race. We had Eric Jones hit the wall. Whatever happened on the initial start of the race really hurt drivers such as Bubba Wallace, Corey LaJoie, and most importantly, Kyle Larson. The very first lap of their playoff run was already disastrous. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but whatever it was, he was involved. He has nose damage and is currently mired a lap down, only scoring a measly 3 points for this race. And lap down people, Eric Jones looking to unlap himself from Kevin Harvick. A 29.8 that time for Harvick, a 29.65. So he's gaining for sure. Another battle developing here on track. Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson. The Jimmy Johnson, the 48 crew has been notorious for picking it up during the playoff time. And they really went winless the whole season, I believe. They ran all right for most of it. They had a good few races at the start. And at the last race of the season, they really picked it up and they won the race when they needed to. And it looks like they are in top form right now, running right on the back bumper of Kyle Busch. Identical times there, battling for that 3rd spot. As we see Keselowski and Hamlin battle further behind them. Eric Almirola coming at a blistering pace, gaining on these guys. Has Eric Jones gotten by? Oh, there it is. Eric Jones is now back on the lead lap. Will he be passing anybody for position? I don't think so. Here comes Keselowski now through to the backstretch. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be passing anybody else. But if we do have a caution, he can count on getting caught up back up to the back of the field and having a chance at passing some guys. Truex, here we are. The man who's been on a mission all day through to 10th position. Definitely could drive by him. He's going to put a move on Ryan Preece and go up to 9th. Martin Truex Jr. has probably passed the most cars this race. He fell back to 27th something on the start. He raced all the way up to almost the top 10. Then on the pit stops, fell back to 18th. And here he is, P9, and he's got some more time to run down some more drivers. Eric Almirola seems to have fallen off massively. I think he can catch Eric Almirola. Jimmy Johnson has passed Kyle Busch in other stories. And is currently about the same pace as Kevin Harvick and Clint Bowyer. We still have another pit stop, so this is far from over. This race is far from over. We do have another pit stop coming, a 1-3-3-2-1-2. Looking at the gaps, Harvick still gapping the guys behind him. The fastest car on the track by no comparison. And speaking of pit stops, here we go. Denny Hamlin is on pit road for what should be his final stop of the day. This is about as early as he can pit. He's looking to really undercut. You see Kyle Busch, Keselowski, and some other playoff contenders on there. Suarez. Oh, wow. Really congested pit road. Larson's on, so the pit road, the pit road madness has certainly begun. The next round is coming here too, and I think it's just going to be everybody else, really. I don't know if anybody else is going to stay out. I'm thinking Bowman might. Yeah, there it is. No, he's coming now. So I think the whole field is pit now. There's Kyle Busch. There's Denny Hamlin. Chase Elliott with a great run on pit road, or Kyle Busch with a poor run. And look what that short pit's going to do for Hamlin. He's actually going to pass Kyle Busch, it looks like. But Kyle Busch should be able to run him down with those fresher tires. But that's the strategy there for Hamlin. You know, maybe Kyle Busch won't have enough laps to run him back down. As you come back onto pit road, people are going to start coming out. There's Jones, LaJoie, Harvick, and Johnson coming out close. Boyer not far behind. Almirola right in front of Dillon. There's Kyle Busch. There's Johnson and Harvick. There's Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's going to go to the lead, I think, when everything cycles out. There you go, mister. It's a big strategy call by that 11 team. We're going to have to see if it pays off. He's got 15 laps to try and keep the 4 car or the 18 or anybody that catches him first in his rearview mirror. Should update him to be the leader. There it is. He's got a 1.5 second gap to Kyle Busch. Let's go ahead and make things more interesting and add Chase Elliott to the mix. Just because he missed the playoffs by a couple of points doesn't mean he's going to be out from blood trying to win races, and he's definitely making that known. The only non-playoff driver in the top 5. It looks like he's basically disrupting things, running all over Kyle Busch, and this is going to be interesting. They're coming up on the slow car of Corey LaJoie, and this is going to absolutely work to Denny Hamlin's advantage, as Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott, they're all on fresh tires, and they've got to battle and get through lap traffic. So it could be a race-winning strategy call for the 11 team of Denny Hamlin, but we'll have to see what happens once Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch get clear of LaJoie, and that sort of thing is happening right now. So now we're going to see how well Denny Hamlin holds up, and he will have to get by his teammate Erik Jones. Erik Jones is a lap car, by the way. That 163 gap is going to grow a little bit, but they were still battling, mind you, and I think now we'll get a better representation of their pace. Oh no, Bubba Wallace, it's going to help Hamlin. No, it's actually not going to get in Hamlin's way at all. Bubba was stuck up on that outside, and Hamlin's going to go right around him. 163, 184, that time was the gap. This time back to these guys is the 165. Okay, so it's about the same. We've seen Hamlin fall back on the long run. Kevin Harvick, in particular, is the fastest car on track, but he's 4th place. He's still got 3 cars to pass if he wants the victory. Kevin Harvick sitting down some blistering laps, and oh my goodness, Martin Truex Jr. again back to 14th. Just keeps getting set back on pit road, and now he's got to pass more cars. That's him the gap down a little bit, but they are battling. Kevin Harvick is in the mixture. This is exactly what the 11 car needed. They pit very, very early, and I know that all these guys are faster, but they've been having to battle and get through lap traffic. There goes Harvick through behind Kyle Busch. They're all to the inside of the 43 of Bubba Wallace. And I think Harvick is the fastest of these 3 drivers here, so if they want a chance of catching Denny Hamlin, they're definitely going to have to sort out each other's differences. But he's got Kyle Busch to go through first before he wants to go up there and battle Denny. We're just under 10 laps to go in what has been a caution-free race. Again, not without turmoil for some drivers, such as Erik Jones and Kyle Larson. But that gap is definitely going to start shrinking now, as here comes Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick relentlessly fighting his way back up from a slow pit stop. The gap that time down another 10th, despite having to battle some cars on track. Here he comes. It's only a matter of time now before he tracks down Denny Hamlin, because he is absolutely on rails. Kyle Larson's day has not gotten much better. Looks like he acquired some more damage on the nose. Very unfortunate day for them. Harvick sitting down some blistering lap times here. A 1.3 second gap this time will shrink down to a 1. Oh my goodness, that is 3/10. That is almost 4/10 shaved off the lead. At this rate, Kevin Harvick's going to be there in less than 3 laps. He is coming fast. And that is exactly not what Denny Hamlin wants to happen. I think at the very least he's going to get a top 5 out of this strategy call if he doesn't get the win. Right now things are looking pretty hopeless as Kevin Harvick is actually closing at a rather alarming rate. A .94 gap is no way it's less than half a second or more than half a second. It is half a second gap. He chopped it in half, and I believe next time by Harvick's going to be right on him. He's a full 3 miles an hour faster in the corners. You can see he smells blood. You will visibly see the gain of time here through the corners. This is where he kills him. Look how much he can send it in. And then he sticks it in the center, and the drive off he gets is immense. And as expected, here we are. This time around, he is right on the back bumper of Denny Hamlin. Inside of 6 laps to go, and another development further back, Jimmy Johnson has gotten around Kyle Busch, and he's working on his teammate Chase Elliott, and obviously a lead change. This was very expected. It was only a matter of time. Kevin Harvick straight to the lead. Denny Hamlin falling back, and Kevin Harvick might be picking up his remarkable 5th win of the season. He went on a tear mid-season, winning 3 in a row. Could be winning number 5. Kyle Busch able to fend off Chase Elliott, pick up that 4th spot. Here comes Brad Keselowski looking for some more. Kevin Harvick very easily inching away from Hamlin. Hamlin had to drive the wheels off of it. Tires are dead, and I'm thinking Jimmy Johnson might even get up there and pass him just by tires alone, because Johnson and Harvick pitted later on the same cycle. Denny Hamlin pit first, and wow, look at the closing rate. Johnson's going to pull right down to the inside and go right around him. Hamlin falls even further back. Well, if he's not careful, he might fall back even further to these guys. This little battle here might get pretty intense if Hamlin falls back to him. Jimmy Johnson through to the 2nd position. Unfortunately for him, I don't know if he's going to be able to run down Harvick. He'll only have 3 laps to do it. But his speed has not been that much greater than Harvick's, and Kevin Harvick is long gone. A good almost second gap back to the 48. And Johnson visibly did not look like there was that much of a speed gain on Harvick there. I think the gap will grow this time. 0.86 to a point. Yeah, there it is. So not much to see there, but really the most important thing I think that is happening right now is Denny Hamlin. He's going to have to fend off a hungry Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch, looking for some more points to start off their playoff push. Kyle Busch drives it in here, and as you can see, those fresh tires can get right up to the back of Denny Hamlin. 2 laps to go this time. Gap between Johnson and Harvick this time around. It grows a little bit, as expected. It's fun to watch, but I think Harvick's got this thing in the bag. You just got to run a good 2 laps. Now, this is going to help Denny Hamlin. Keselowski goes to the inside of Kyle Busch. That's going to help Denny Hamlin a lot unless Keselowski can try and pick off both of them. Keselowski was struggling earlier in this race, and man, through some clever strategy, and I guess some good adjustments, they have really turned things around. White flag is out for Kevin Harvick, as he has been nothing short of dominant today. The only other driver to really lead laps is Kyle Busch. As you see, Kyle Busch is back here. Oh, Clint Bowyer is into the mix now. Clint Bowyer dives to the inside. He gets around Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott. An amazing last lap from Clint Bowyer to pick up some more spots. Keselowski's going to try and make a move on Hamlin. Johnson is second back from Harvick. Obviously not enough. Kevin Harvick picking up where he left off from that 3-race win streak. He's going to come across the stripe and win the first race of the playoffs. Oh, that was ruined. And win the first race of the playoffs at Kentucky. And coming across the line, it looks like Denny Hamlin was barely able to hang on to 3rd place. Clint Bowyer, with an explosive run at the end, was able to come home 5th, and Kyle Busch slid back from 4th to 7th on that last sequence of events. And further back, there's Martin Truex Jr. once again passing as much as he could, finishing 10th. He's definitely going to be on top of the points after this race. You know, keeping that big gap he already has. Almirola finishing 9th. Some guys that didn't have such a great day. Suarez and Bowman finishing 17th and 18th respectively. Some even worse days for some playoff contenders who really we were hoping would do better. Kyle Larson, 36th, will only be awarded 3 points. A very lackluster day from them. Eric Jones, 35th. Didn't even mention Jimmy Johnson running second that much, but Jimmy Johnson with that 2nd place finish is going to help his case for the championship. Oh, excuse me again. Harvick, Johnson, Hamlin, Bowyer, and Keselowski. Harvick, oh my gosh. Harvick, Johnson, Hamlin, Keselowski, and Boyer are your top 5. All of those guys playoff drivers. Then it's Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Ryan Preece with a good run, 8th place. Eric Almirola, 9th. Martin Truex Jr., 10th. And really, you can look at the rest of the field. I'm just going to go to the playoff drivers. Suarez and Bowman, 17th and 18th. Not good runs from them. Look a little bit further down the standings. You'll see some disastrous days from Eric Jones and Kyle Larson. Absolutely not the sort of starts they were looking for. But it's better, I would say better now than 4 races down the road when you really aren't out of 10. Because now you've still got 8 races to come back. You know, points are so easily lost and gained. A 2nd place from Larson and a 20th place from Johnson or Harvick could easily put Kyle Larson back up into things and ahead of some guys. So there's plenty of time to correct some shortcomings for guys such as Eric Jones and Kyle Larson. But for now, it's these cats, Hamlin, Keselowski, Johnson, and Boyer, enjoying a top 5 and a good points boost at the start. And the man on top of it all, Kevin Harvick, those sweet 5 bonus points for winning will definitely help him out. He is 2nd on the grid now. He will certainly close it up to Martin Truex Jr. I'm going to pause the recording real quick and go to the points. And I'll be able to let y'all preview that at the end of each playoff race. Alrighty, points have been updated. I didn't mention that because you still get 5 bonus points for a race win, we're not doing playoff points anymore. That pole, each pole is going to be an additional point. So that one, Kyle Busch was 2,042, but it's going to be 2,043. An additional point for a pole. And it's going to be really interesting. At the end of the season, I want to see what everybody's at when you take away all of their bonus points. But you see the top 4 stayed the same. This was an 8. This is supposed to be an 8. No, it's not. Shit, it's supposed to be an 11. Top 4 stayed the same. Alex Bowman drops from 5th all the way, plummets to 10th. Clint Boyer moves up a spot. Kyle Busch goes up. Keselowski stays where he was. Or no, wait. Never mind. I'm done. The top 4 stayed the same. Keselowski goes up. Hamlin picks up 4 spots. I'm going to go ahead and reorder everything here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can see Boyer picked up some ground. He picked up a spot. Jones, he lost a spot. Kyle Larson drops back. Yeah, he and Jones are in a little bit of a pickle. Fortunately, just a couple of good races can really turn this thing around. And, yeah, it's the race. Kyle Busch proving to be consistent still. Again, one of the lower drivers up at the front in terms of top 5s. But that top 10 count in 14 and 21 races is an impressive number. That's certain to keep growing. And at this rate, he could probably hit 20 top 10s on the season. I think he'd be the only driver to break that plan. No DNFs added. I'm going to leave these playoff points here. They don't really mean anything now. Those have all been added into their total on here. And that's all I've got for you guys. Thanks for watching. Round 2 of the playoffs will be from the Roval, if we can find an updated Roval. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll have a good rest of your day.